Hello and welcome back to Risk of Rain Returns. Today we are going to be going into another limited item run, this time as the Engineer. The reason we're going to be taking Engineer is because I think he's going to be the best person to show off this run. And the idea is going to be to just get all of the missiles. We are going to, however, skip fireworks for two reasons. One, the first reason being that I want to use my whites in order to have some healing going. And the second being that, well, we already covered fireworks. That's actually the more important point there. Now, if you know a little bit about the game, you'll probably know that, unfortunately, missiles in this game do not scale particularly well. So it's one of the reasons why we're going to be taking the Engineer here, is because we want to make sure that we can get as many of them on the board as possible, so that even though they don't scale in damage, we will actually be doing a bunch of missile damage anyways. And I'm not going to be going for killing Providence here. I just want to get as many missiles as possible. I did a little bit of a test run on this particular run, and it was pretty easy to get to the point where you're looping in the game. So we are going to be trying to loop this run, because it's a little bit stronger than some of the other limited item runs. And my goal here is to be that once I get to the single loop, I will start adding items for each loop, actually, not even just the first loop. We will be adding items that we can take, but up until then, we're only going to be taking pure missile items, and we'll be taking a healing item on white, which means that we won't take any of these things right here. Some of the things that I plan on taking later on are going to be things like, you know, old Lopper, and possibly a crowbar to make our missiles better. But in the meantime, we're only going to be taking the things that are kind of part of the prescribed build. Hopefully that means that there's going to be some logic to the... Oh, I don't have enough money. I tried to open that and I was confused as why for a second. We'll kind of maintain the prescribed build for a while there. And the goal is to try and basically just see how far we can get this. Getting past one loop is already an achievement in my opinion, but I'd like to get a lot farther than one loop. Ooh, this guy got away. That's a problem. Oh, it wasn't a problem. And we finally did our first ATG. Once we get 10 ATGs, I will start taking other greens as well, with the only reason there being that, well, ATGs scale in such a way where they get 10% per ATG, which means that after 10 ATGs, they literally do nothing. And I'm not going to take an item that does nothing. As far as what I'm going to take, I have no idea. I have not decided yet. Probably something that makes the build better. That's all I'm going to say for now. Ooh, very nice. So we did our first ATG, and we did our first Mark II ATG. Now, I will say that both the Mark II and the Mark I ATG both use the same quote-unquote missile cap, which is a limit of how many missiles your character can fire at once. Now, that limit is kind of like a fire rate for missiles. It is not a limit of how many total missiles that your character can fire, which means that if you fire more than the missile cap, you will just continue firing until you run out of basically backlogged missiles. And since they both run into the same missile cap, once we get to 100%, oh, there's our teleporter. Once we get to 100% on the basic ATGs, we'll start seeing that missile cap in effect probably pretty quickly. Now, I don't think that a horde of volatile jellyfish is just kind of like a really, I don't know, really unscary thing here. Okay, that was hilariously easy. How's the Shrine of the Mountain? I mean, like, come on, guys. But I will say that I don't think that the missile use item here contributes to the missile cap. But don't quote me on that, because I think that's something that we're going to find out together here. Because I don't actually know. One thing to be aware of about how missiles work as well is that it is 3% total damage, which means if something activates a missile via my mine, they're going to be doing a lot more damage than if they activate a missile via my actual missiles, which only do like 95 damage. So you'll see the missiles be doing quite a bit random, or seemingly random amounts of damage. So it's not actually random, it's just that it's a question of what activates them. And just because these runs often are, I mean, we're on Monsoon, and we're taking a guaranteed mountain shrine every time. So this is basically a much harder version of even the base game. And Risk of Rain is already a very hard game. So to kind of combat that a little bit and get far enough that you guys can actually see what these builds are like, I will be taking a goat hoof every single time. It's actually something that was suggested to me by the community, and I sort of just over time agreed with it. I resisted for a little bit, thinking that I was just good enough at this game to completely ignore the need for any amount of movement speed. And I mean, I probably could, if I was going for the Providence wins, probably, maybe. But since I'm not going for Providence, we will be taking a goat hoof after the first stage, because, well, having no movement speed is just, it's not going to be interesting for you guys, because I'll just die right away. Movement speed and jumps are some of the best things. I'm not going to give myself a jump, though, until I get past the first loop. I'm also not going to take any items that don't necessarily make the build better, outside of, like, survival. Like, I'll take some survival items. For example, I'm planning on taking a freaking jump. We're also not taking any drones, just because drones are really strong. Like, really, really strong. I think we are going to activate the teleporter as soon as we find it. I mean, look at this damage, though. If you guys have been watching some of my limited item or one item per rarity runs, you'll realize immediately that this is, for one of these runs, this is actually a very large amount of damage. Normally, these runs are kind of mired in inadequacy in the early game with a lot of potential, but a lot of times that the game's just hard enough and scales fast enough that the potential does not scale as fast as, well, the enemies do, frankly. Once I get up to 100% and these mines start reliably activating missiles, it'll be really good. Because the missiles do so much more damage than our base attack. We are going to take a moment and spend some time down here killing normal enemies, because with the Shrine of the Mountain that's going on up there, having 3 Ancient Wisps, I do worry about getting basically raffle stomped. And I'm trying to play well. Ugh. Okay, we got this. I was nervous for just a moment. We definitely don't want to be down there with them, because every time they die, they're going to drop some wisps. Oh, I didn't put it far enough over. Damn. Thank you, turret. Sacrifice was not in vain. We get another ATG, some more regen, and some more regen. If you didn't know, maybe you haven't watched any of my other videos, but if you're limited to only getting like one item, and you don't need a white item, and you need some healing, those regens actually start to be really good. They stack very, very well. It's a linear 80% of your stack. It's like 8.4% or whatever. But it stacks up really surprisingly well. I've actually relied on pretty much only that regen for quite a few runs, and whenever I do rely on the only the regen, it actually generally ends up pretty good. Just gonna make a little bit of a nest here because we want these 2 items. I was hoping that there'd be some enemies. Well, there's one. Should probably be able to get this after that. Nope. Well, okay then. Just a poor boy. Ah, all of that for a white. With a red, I was hoping, because there was a very good chance that that was going to be a green. We do have the Boar Bridge up here, but I don't think I'm going to be taking it. Mostly because, well, I mean, it's a nice survival item and all, but it doesn't really have anything to do with missiles. If I find a Boar Bridge sometime during, like, the second loop, though, no, definitely taking it. There we go. There's our ATG. And I say we need to move on. We're going to hold on to our Mark 1, or what is this? What's this thing actually called? Disposable missile launcher. We're going to hold on to our disposable missile launcher until we find something that scares us. Anything over here? I don't think so. Another one that technically stacks well is also Monster Tooth, but the problem is that Monster Tooth... I've had these conversations with a lot of people in comments, and I think that there's a misunderstanding about something that I do as a form of defense, is that defense that is passive for these runs is better than active. So anything that requires an on-kill is actually arguably worse, because a lot of times, because of the limited items, I actually struggle to kill things. So having defensive healing, like this, for example, is a significant upgrade that often leads to me actually surviving, because if you watch enough of these runs, then I have to spend a lot of time running, like legitimately just running. And if you're running, you can't turn around and get stacks from kills, and you can't get healing from things. Now, mind you, that's the healing that is on kill or on hit is more effective because it allows you to be aggressive. Sometimes, I mean, if you're at 10 HP, you just can't be aggressive. You just can't. So that's why I value the passive healing over top of the active healing. And that's mostly just from experience. I have done about 20 of these runs now of limited items, and the active healing, although it does feel good, it always eventually is less effective, like over time, because you eventually get high enough that the enemies scale faster than you can pick up more active healing. Because again, we're only getting a handful of items, so the enemies will always scale faster than you. The question is just how good is the build and how long does it take to get to that point. We're using the ladder here to drop items from a distance. Take advantage of our heights. Guy has a trouble hitting you even if you're on a one high ledge over top of him there. And the missiles from this guy's ability do actually have hitbox the entire time, which means that if you just drop them directly on someone's face, we're gonna come up this way because I'm scared. There we go. Got that other imp down. Last imp is all the way down here. That bison's a problem. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. So much damage. I'm not going to be afraid to cheese this one because this bison could literally just murder me. Here we go. Very nice. Very nice. Try to use every single tactic to our advantage. We have a couple items to pick up, and then let's get out of here. I don't think we have a choice. I think we're going to have to get rid of most of these guys. There we go. Pick up another ATG here. And another flask. We're already at 50% for missiles. So we're doing pretty good, to be honest. Hive Cluster is going to be one of the harder levels for us, on top of the ancient temple that comes next. Ooh, perfect. 14% chance for the 3 missiles. Very nice. The birds won't be as much of a problem. It's more of just like the platforming and the fact that a lot of the things here kind of just do a lot of damage. Getting 2 of those ATG Mark IIs early on is a very nice boon. I actually went most of my test run never getting a red item. Felt very bad. Teleporter's down right. I'd like one more item, but failing that, we are going to just activate it. Let's get as much damage as possible on this. Okay, I was going to say, before everything shows up, but I didn't even get to finish my sentence before things started showing up. Oops, I did not want to fall down here. Shit. As long as there's no birds around, we're gonna grab this drone and then scrap it. There should be fine to get out of here. Okay, speaking of birds, there's the birds. So we just need to be careful, because the birds will really get you when you're on the ropes. And I mean that literally, when you're literally on the ropes, not whenever you're in danger. Get a little bit more healing here. I think we're going to go up top so that we can use our auto attack. Oh, I can't get there from here. Not without some sort of jumps. So that we can use our auto attack on the big beasties. It also gives me a chance to check the right side for items, which there are none. I don't know why, but maybe it's just me. Sometimes I feel like this particular stage just has less items on it, like quite frequently. Okay, we are going to grab this real quick, though. So this should give us an item. Happy to have it. Very happy to have it. Okay. Do the cavern parkour. Oh man, more reds. What the hell? That's awesome. Where's this luck in previous runs? This right here is just like a precursor for the future. Very nice. Very nice. Another ATG. That's 7% per stack. So 4 times 7. It's what, 21%, right? Yeah. Let's get out of here. That should reset the cooldown for my drones, if I remember correctly. Yes, it does. It's actually something I learned from the Judgment Trials, of all things, that whenever you switch stages, it resets all your cooldowns for your use items and stuff like that. So if you have a Captain's Brooch and you're about to go to the next stage, go ahead and use it. For the longest time, I thought it was actually only the Judgment Trials that did that, but no, it actually happens everywhere. You always come to a new stage with the full benefits of your items and your cooldowns. And the ATG Mark II is just as strong as the ATG Mark I, and it just fires more missiles, so very much looking forward to one day having 100% chance on uptime on that, because that means that whenever each one mine will drop 3 higher damage missiles. Means that we can hit the missile cap a lot faster, but that's okay. I have 2 legendaries on this floor. Since we're going as far as possible and we're not necessarily going for Providence, I don't see any reason to not take these. I can't see that price tag, though. I think that's 6,000? Jesus. I don't know if we even get to 6,000. We should search the rest of the stage first. No reason to sit there and wait. There you go. There's another basic ATG. That's a 60% chance. I think the first green we'll take after ATGs is going to be Guardian's Heart, because it'll prevent us from getting one shot. Because after the first loop, the chance that something one-shots you is pretty damn high. Wow, where are all of our items? I wonder if the director just spent all of his money on all of his points on having an extra legendary chest, and then just didn't give us any items because of that. Actually pretty good damage, gonna have to say. We're nowhere near 6,000. I am a little worried about time, so I think I might go ahead and activate the teleporter. Yeah, those missiles do like 400 apiece. Way stronger. Little tense, little tense. So far, I think we got this. Ugh. I can take a breath. At least for a little bit. So we still have to kill that guy. What? Why are you shooting the thingy? That's not an enemy. Oops. I didn't mean to fall. We might have enough for the legendary chest whenever we're done here. We're quickly approaching 6,000. See, if I didn't have a goat hoof right now, I probably would just die here. I would not be able to outrun this. I need to get around here. Letting my HP regenerate while we're at it. I keep forgetting that hole's there. We got this, though. Ah, I mean, look at that. Even our whenever our mine missiles go off, it just destroys. I want to get these close enough that they go for the right target here. Oh, don't kill me right now. Don't kill me right now. Oh, jeez. Those guys do so much damage. That is 8. 2 more and we'll grab some Guardian Hearts. 6,900. Maybe that's enough. I don't actually remember what it was. I know it was above 6,000. 6,691. Hell yeah! 5 of those. Since we'll be passing the first loop, my next red item, despite it being pretty good to have another HEG, my next red item is going to be a scepter, because that gets us more turrets, and future scepters will get us turret cooldown, which will actually just get us more missiles. It'll get us more missiles faster than having more HEG Mark IIs. I want the item that this tribe promises. I'm actually going to take a... Where is it? There we go. A timekeepers now, so that I can pick up items, because it's going to start getting really hard to pick up items. I know that's technically less missiles, but I have to do what I have to do. We're going to activate the teleporter literally just right away, and then I will loot the stage afterwards. Blazing Wandering Vagrant. Not the worst thing I've seen all day. I believe the blazing effect makes it so that their little tendrils leave fire on the ground. Once I get them on the same stage, yeah, there we go. I'll just see if I can do some damage to them. No! I did the missile thing wrong, so I was stuck in place. This is what I'm talking about. You guys got to see how pretty damn crazy the missiles get, but they don't scale, so I was starting to do less and less damage over time. And not having the move speed really, really hurts into late game. It's not exactly a god build. It is definitely a challenge build. Anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you guys have, feel free to leave a like, comment, and or subscribe. I will probably still be doing more of these for a little while to come. Hope you have a good day, and goodbye.